Hey everyone, so I wanted to give a little bit of explanation here for our close reading activity, the Frogs Are Going Extinct article. So again, this is a Newsella article, so the link is right here. So when you click on that, it'll take you to this page. Again, you'll want to log in using your school's Gmail account, so your email that is related to your TPS 501 account to be able to read the full article here on the Newsella site. And then you've got a few questions that are about the article. So again, the topic that we're dealing with are why frogs are going extinct in the world. It's a problem that's been affecting a lot of amphibians, but frogs in particular are one of the big groups that we're looking at. Here it says, John Alroy is the science professor they mentioned that did research on amphibian extinction. What research did he do to figure out if frogs were going to become extinct? So the article talks a little bit about some of the things that he examined. What information did he gather together to come to this conclusion? What research did he do? Number 2 asks, how many frog species did he say went extinct based on his research? So again, this is information in the article that talks about how many frog species he said went extinct. Number 3, he noted that most of the extinctions of frog species happened in parts of Central America, as well as Brazil, Madagascar, and New Guinea. What type of environment do these places mostly have? And again, think about what they have in common, the types of habitats that amphibians live in that they would find these extinctions happening in. What would be the common ground? What type of environment? 4. While it is hard to tell what is causing the extinctions, the study suggested two main threats to frogs in these areas. What are those threats? So again, the article talks about two big threats that frogs are facing that are part of the possible reason for these extinctions. And then for 5, 6, and 7, I talked a little bit here about some statistics from the Amphibian Arc. So the Amphibian Arc is an organization that works with zoos to talk about amphibians and their state in the wild and trying to work on saving some of those species. So I picked a website that gave some statistics that states that only 10 species of amphibians are set up in zoos for long-term conservation, meaning if they're doing like a breeding program or something like that to try and keep these species alive, it's only 10 species of amphibians, so not even just frogs, but amphibians in general are set up for that. In a best case scenario with all zoos involved in the world, it's predicted that they could set up 50 species for long-term conservation in zoos. They also say 1,895 species are threatened with extinction. If all zoos work together, again, this best case scenario, to try and save amphibian species in the long term, how many species would be left that wouldn't have support from zoos? So you're just going to use subtraction for that one. Number 6, knowing what you know about amphibians in general, why might it be hard for zoos to help protect them? So think back in particular, like when we talked about the Lake Titicaca frog. Think about those amphibians that rely a lot on getting their oxygen and their water through their skin. What else can they take up with it in those cases? What was causing the Lake Titicaca frog to be extinct? And for zoos, why might it be hard for them to take care of them? What challenges would there be in terms of caring for amphibians that zoos would have to have the knowledge to make sure that they could take the best possible care of them? And then 7, do you think zoos rely on amphibians to draw in crowds of people who want to see animals? Why or why not? Do you feel like lots of people are going to say, oh, cool, they have this big frog exhibit, I want to come in and see it? Or would most people just end up skipping it or not really caring too much about it? So again, think about all these different pieces. This is part of the really big impact for amphibians as a whole, their conservation. Again, if you have any questions on this assignment, please feel free to email me, call me, or you can hop into the science department Zoom meeting every weekday, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 10:30.